Brian Elliott. Welcome to another edition of Behind the Brand. I'm here live at CES in the Panasonic Creator Studio with President of Creve Coeur Camera, Stephen Weiss. Stephen, thanks for coming by.
Thanks, buddy.
How'd you get this job, Stephen?
I started at a very young age as a photographer. My family was in the retail shoe business.
Yeah.
I love photography, passion. I love retail. And about 18 years ago, I bought a 6-store chain with, actually 9 with 3 in Kansas City. Now we have 8 stores in St. Louis.
Awesome.
9 stores in St. Louis. I can't even remember.
You know, we're here at the show, we're talking about trends and what people are doing, but I kind of want to hear from you as a photographer. You know, you do a lot of teaching, right?
Ton of teaching.
And you're an avid shooter. How important is the increasing quality of, you know, both photography and video stuff? Like, as we see it progress with the technology?
We have seen a dramatic change in the last 6 months. This 4K technology is unbelievable. Now today at CES we're seeing this 8K technology. The sharpness of a still camera, the sharpness of a video camera is incredible. I tell people they're not cameras, they're computers. And what we see with a camera is unbelievable. The things you can do technology-wise and the price.
Yeah. So I mean, features and benefits, that's fine. I want to talk about what you're doing, you know, like, so what's important to you? You know, what's some of your shooting criteria? Give us some maybe tips and tricks.
Well, I've been an avid shooter for a long time, and I go to the manufacturer and say, show me what's new and what's hot and what I can demonstrate for the customer.
Yeah.
And the guys at Panasonic came to me about 3 months ago and said, Stephen, we love you, we understand you, we love your stores, you're the leader in the Midwest. What can we do? And a buddy of yours, Darren, said, Stephen, blah, blah, blah. And I said, why don't we put in a huge studio in the store and let's get the younger generation into that studio.
Yeah.
You guys bellied up to the table and said, do it, baby. And you gave us funds to build the studio. You threw in, this is what's so cool. In our studio, very inexpensive for 18 years old and younger, 25 bucks an hour. You get still cameras, video cameras, lights, recording devices, backgrounds. This thing is built, we got inspected, it looks phenomenal.
Okay, I want to talk about strategy too. I mean, all that stuff is
right.
Interesting, but I want to break it down. Like,
okay.
So a lot of people watch this, you know, they're content creators or they're running a brand or a company.
Okay.
So obviously you built this kind of like a honeypot. You know, you built this for younger people by design.
Correct.
What is it about this kind of your own little creative studio that's attracting younger people? What's working, what's not working?
Well, it's about to open and we have a lot of parents who want to get their kids into being out of the house and they want to be, and well, it is.
Yeah.
This cell phone phenomenon has ruined a lot of things.
Sure.
The parents for $25 to come into the studio to play with the cameras, to get interested in something besides their cell phone.
Yeah.
You know, it's a dinner. I've got 3 daughters and 2 stepkids. It's changed the technology.
So you're marketing to parents with kids.
We're doing a grassroots marketing, online Facebook, on the all the different social medias.
Okay.
We're talking to parents. We're talking to kids.
And how are you talking to them? Are you? Is it more educational, like informational, like, hey, this is happening, it's an awareness piece, or are you creating original content to bring them in?
We're going to let them create original content. They can do their own YouTube channels, whatever they want to do. We're making it highly accessible and very inexpensive for them to start to get into something.
Well, that's fine. So you build it and they will come eventually, but let's kind of get ahead of that a little bit. And I want to ask, how are you even getting the word out that that's happening?
Social media and grassroots marketing.
Okay, so like email and flyers.
Emails and flyers,
Yeah.
and going into the schools and talking to the we have 9 stores. We have these connections with the professors.
That's what I wanted to know. So
Okay.
I mean, I think it's subtle, but I want to underscore.
Okay.
I mean, everyone loves social, it's so hot, but really
It doesn't work in that respect.
well, it sounds like what you're doing is a combination of both, right? You're going where the people are. So if they're in the schools, you're going physically to the schools, you're using the instructors or the teachers to get the word out for you as amplifiers or ambassadors.
Exactly.
Right?
This is, we will have evangelists is the philosophy. You go into hierarchies of these evangelists who say, you got to go to Creve Coeur Camera, you can use the equipment for free, it's included in the price, it's inexpensive, and touch it, play with it, because there's still a lot of people interested in computers, which are the cameras. So what I mean by grassroots is, it can't just be social media, it can't just be TV and radio and all, it has to be someone say to you, you need to go to Creve Coeur Camera and rent their studio.
Yeah, so you're banking that these ambassadors, these evangelists, are going to get the word out to the right people. Yeah, that's the message. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So once you get the kids into your studio, how are you going to help educate them on the cameras? I mean, a lot of people come in at the same time, they're just given the equipment. What's going to happen?
Well, when you come in, if you're 18 and under, you have to come in with your parent. We're going to say, what do you want to do? And we're going to say, okay, I want to do a simple video for YouTube. Okay, what do you know? And we will enhance them, spend a few minutes with them on, here's the camera, turn it on, set it up. If you really have to use our resources of a person for an hour, there will be an additional charge. Okay. But you're going to walk in, we're going to say, what do you want to shoot? Okay, let's move the lights this way. Here's the lapel mics, here's how you turn it on. Here's the settings. It's pretty, by the way, you know this, whether it's a video camera or a DSLR or anything in between, there's literally automatic modes.
Yeah.
They don't need to learn anything. The studio is completely soundproofed. It'll be simple.
Well, yeah, and my guess is that most of these kids are going to come in and understand most of it intuitively.
They know more than you and me.
Yeah, okay. The people who watch this also have startups, and they're thinking about, you know, wanting to eventually be where you are now with a multiple chain of stores. What advice would you give them?
Think out of the box. You absolutely can't pay attention to what everybody else is doing. You have to be a forerunner. We have done things at Creve Coeur Camera 7, 8, 10 years before everybody else did. We created a different brand.
Like what?
We put in a camera brand about 10 years ago called Cameras Up. It was clothing and shirts and photographic wear, which was good in the beginning, but no one grabbed hold of it, meaning for us as a camera store, it was innovative.
Okay.
We have done things like, we actually put a rental studio in 15 years ago, but there were no one else thinking about it.
You were too early.
We know a number of things we've done, we've been too early.
Okay.
This popped in at our meeting with Darren about 4 months ago. When I told him and he told me what I was thinking about, it was like, let's just do it. So we've been an early adopter, early innovator. You have to think out of the box. You have to get a bank that takes care of you. You have to have people that surround you that support your vision.
Yeah, let's talk about the bank stuff, because not everyone has a bank that will support them or savings.
No, you can get one. You don't have to, you have to be able to say, this is my vision.
Okay, well, what if that doesn't happen? Then what?
Then you go to private investors and say, I want to open up a photo studio. I mean, in today's marketplace, my family is in the retail shoe business. My father said to me when I was 23 years old, Dad, I want to open a studio. And I said, I need to spend $3,000 on equipment, which is the same $3,000 you could do today. And start out with a nice Panasonic camera and a couple lights and he says, you don't need to do this. He says, Dad, you open a shoe store and spend $80,000 on inventory and building a store. Why can't I spend $3,000 on camera equipment? It doesn't take millions, but you have to be creative mentally, physically, and emotionally. You have to do it differently than everyone else.
Okay, that's good advice. How long do you give this great idea if you don't get traction right away? You know, not everyone is successful right out of the gate.
There's an inexpensive cost to Panasonic was so gracious, we didn't have any real hard costs. Yeah. So we can stick this out for 2, 3, 4, 5 years before it even affects us. But I already know just from Facebook posts that we have probably 100 people in St. Louis who already are dying to rent this studio.
Are you making your own videos?
We've had a TV room in our office for years where I do all of our radio spots, all of our TV, green screen black, for about 10 years. So instead of me having to run to a professional studio, we have a camera just like this, camera, lights. I sit there, go to look at some of the videos on our CreveCoeurCamera.com website. You'll see what we've done for years. There's some funny, there's some professional, there's a little bit of everything.
Yeah. How important do you think YouTube is as a platform?
Today, YouTube is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. You can't live without it as far as getting the name and the idea and the concepts out there.
Yeah, why?
It's searched by everything. You type in something you want to find out about, a YouTube video pops up all day long.
I want to talk about failure, kind of the F word. A lot of people get stuck with failure. I want to maybe revisit that a little bit. Maybe look into this camera and maybe get a little heart-to-heart. Again, the people who are not getting the kind of traction they want to, maybe the people who don't have the partnership with a bigger company or mom, dad's money or help from bank, what advice would you give them about not getting stuck?
I'll give you, go to the bad before the good. I'm a member of a number of websites, Facebook groups and things like that. Be very careful getting stuck in the same rut as everybody else does in your Facebook group. The most important thing, this is the positive, find yourself a mentor. Someone who will talk to you and lay the cards out on the table, not financially, but emotionally and mentally. And I've had a guy helping me for years. He pushes me. He says, this is what you need to do. This is how you need to think about it. He is constantly pushing me. And I've done that for a number of young photographers. I say to them, go call me. You're 16, you're 18, I don't care. I will tell you where I failed. I'll tell you where I've been successful. It's the most inexpensive thing you do. Remember, they always say, oh, it's on the internet, it's got to be true. There are people who do not get things. Be careful with the information you get from posting and asking questions. Think out of the box.
Stephen Weiss, everybody, thank you so much. Appreciate you coming by.
Thank you.